The Wall Street Journal, American publications, and numerous Chinese publications have reported over the past 6 months that NIO has been on a constant fundraising drive, trying to raise billions of dollars. Now, I just want to make it very clear that I believe NIO has made the drastic decision to cut 10% of its workforce, possibly more than that, and try to reduce its costs as much as possible while boosting efficiency. And it hasn't done it by choice. NIO's CEO loves spending money. He loves it. He loves criticizing Tesla, pointing out what they do wrong because efficiency is not important, or not as important as the product itself. Now, I actually, to some degree, think he's got a point. Don't agree with everything he says, though, that's for sure. However, the key point is here, I believe NIO's investors, or those giving NIO the money it needs to stay afloat, have requested the company reduce its operating costs, which are astronomical. They are bloated. In fact, they lose approximately, well, depending on who you read, $18,000 to $24,000 on every car they sell. Now, for a new car manufacturer, that's kind of understandable. But when you only make EVs and have been doing so for years at massive losses, at some point, well, you have no choice but to change the way you're operating. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. I want to make it very clear here, guys. I really do like NIO's cars. Not all of them, but I'm a big fan of quite a number of them. I'd happily own some of their cars. I think they make a really good product. They certainly are not cheap, and they don't position themselves that way. They position themselves as being more of a premium brand, but only so many people clearly in China have been willing to pay premium prices for NIO's premium offerings. The truth is they have been well received, in fact, by the Chinese populace, by the media there, but they still are not selling all that many. NIO had one of its best months ever last month, selling around 16,000 electric cars. But if you think about it, it's not really that many, considering that's their worldwide sales for the month. Times that by 12, the total number, it doesn't come anywhere near close to covering even half of NIO's operational costs. And over the long term, when you make enough losses for enough years, investors start to say, well, you're becoming too much of a risk. Why are investors saying that? Well, for one, there is 91 electric car companies in China. And investors, I believe, are asking the question, why is BYD growing at a staggering pace, moving into your segment with its new luxury EVs, and yet you're not really growing? You're investing huge sums of money, and not much is changing when it comes to your sales. And they've got a good point here. NIO is starting to look risky. That's reflected in their share price. Now, guys, when I make videos like this, I often get lambasted by fans of NIO. People will make comments saying, I don't understand the business. I don't understand what's going on at NIO. Clearly, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But guys, that may be true. You may have a point, but investors agree with me. I mean, NIO's stock price was sitting at $15 on the 3rd of August in 2023. I mean, even if we rewind back to December of 2022, NIO's stock price was sitting at $13. Well, today it's sitting at 8, meaning it's about halved in only a few months. And the question a lot of investors are asking is this: will NIO ever make a profit? When will they make a profit? Well, in response to these concerns from investors, NIO has released an organizational and business optimization plan for its company. It says for all employees, but I don't think the employees feel that way when a lot of them are being fired. This has an unprecedented emphasis on execution efficiency in response to increasing competition in China's EV market. Now, it appears from these documents that NIO is putting a lot of pressure on its staff to perform on a higher level. In other words, they're expecting to fire these staff, but still put out the same amount of product, still put out the same amount of input. So basically, the staff that are leaving the company, well, that slack has to be taken up by its existing employees. The coming 2 years will witness the most intense competition during the transformation of the automotive industry in an environment full of uncertainty, said William Li, who is NIO's founder and CEO. NIO launched a staggering 5 new electric vehicles this year, capturing more than 40% of the battery electric vehicle segment in the price section of vehicles costing over 300,000 RMB. And, well, as you can imagine, there's not that many there. To be honest, that sales area is not a high sales area in China. And BYD is coming at them hard. BYD have announced about 5 different premium electric cars that they plan on targeting NIO with over the next 12 months. Well, NIO said, however, we still have a gap between our overall market performance and expectations. To qualify for the final round of competition, whatever that means, we must further improve execution efficiency and ensure adequate resources for critical business areas. I believe, guys, what's going to happen over the next 5 years in China is these 91 electric vehicle companies that they have, officially 91, there's actually more than 150, but they officially have 91 that are listed publicly. They have to consolidate. The Chinese government has said that it can't even survive with half that number. We need at least 40 of them to consolidate and merge with other companies, or at least a large number to go bankrupt. And of course, a lot of them will. But they won't go down without a fight. They will dump their EVs at a very low price, which they're doing now. And NIO and all other Chinese manufacturers will have to contend with this dumped product. I mean, think about it this way, right? Even the majors are dumping. Even Audi, BMW, and Mercedes are dumping, discounting their EVs by up to 50%, as we've seen from numerous reports in China. And this happens when dealerships go broke. Last year, 2,000 dealerships, 2,000 legacy automotive dealerships in China closed their doors or went bankrupt. And in the process, they dumped a lot of their stock at very low prices. This is what NIO has to contend with. Over the past 2 months, NIO has organized more than 30 meetings to analyze and discuss the 2-year operating plans it has so as to identify its objectives, says Sinopost.com, including key success factors and priorities, action plans, necessary resources in every business area, as well as opportunities for organizational optimization, cost reduction, and efficiency improvement, according to Li. Now, if you actually have a look on the micro and the macro level at what NIO does, they make more things than Tesla does. I mean, its market cap is minuscule in comparison to Tesla, and realistically so are its revenues and profits, but it makes more things, a lot more. It has far more models of electric car. It makes its own batteries. It makes mobile phones. You name it, NIO makes it. Now, sure, I'm exaggerating a little, but the truth is here, they possibly are doing too much. Over the past 2 weeks, NIO has identified business priorities and developed a detailed plan for organizational and business optimization based on the following principles. Ensure long-term investment in core technologies. Keep NIO's technologies and products in the leading position. Ensure NIO has the sales and service capabilities to navigate the intense competition. Ensure the 9 core products of the 3 brands are released as scheduled. So they're releasing another 9 EVs and releasing 2 new car brands. Model after model after model. They're basically following BYD's recent expansion methodology, where BYD have just brought out all these different new vehicles. Will that succeed? Can they make vast numbers of different models of EV under 3 different brands and succeed? Well, that's very much a Chinese strategy. They like to have more brands. They feel like that helps them cover different perception sectors in the economy. But I'm curious, what do you guys think on that? Do you think that will work? Improve organizational efficiency, they went on to say. Consolidate duplicate departments and roles, reform inefficient processes and division of roles and responsibilities, eliminate inefficient positions, improve resource efficiency, defer or cut project investment that won't contribute to the company's financial performance in 3 years. So what does that mean exactly? Well, no one really knows quite yet. But the company haven't announced any major projects that have been cancelled. Following these principles, NIO plans to reduce positions by 10%. In other words, it's firing 10% of its workforce and possibly more, with those adjustments to be completed in November. In other words, those staff are They'll be leaving at some point in November. So how many staff does that mean they're firing? Well, NIO had 27,000 employees at the end of last year. So they have approximately 30,000 employees at the moment, meaning they're firing, well, at least 3,000 staff. Now, I'm going to guess there's going to be plenty of other automakers going, you worked at NIO? Well, what section did you work in? Oh, right, we'd like to know a bit more about what they did there. Okay, we'll hire you. That could happen, especially from legacy automakers like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi. That means NIO will have to make some tough decisions. Here's what they said. I'm sorry to colleagues who may be impacted by the adjustments. This is a tough but necessary decision against the fierce competition. Our journey is a marathon on a muddy track. Please stay focused on efficient execution and improvement of system capabilities. Now, CNF Post said this. NIO's move is long overdue. With its broad range of new businesses and slow-growing deliveries, currently depleting its cash reserves at a rapid pace. NIO suffered operational problems in 2022 for a variety of reasons and unexpectedly cut its delivery guidance on December 27 of last year. Deutsche Bank analyst Edison Yu's team, they focus on the EV market in China and therefore are the most respected Chinese EV analyst, said, will NIO's operational problems ever end? With NIO valued well below Li Auto at the end of 2022, investors' concerns have recently come to the fore, with its stock price suffering as a result. NIO has been desperately trying to raise cash, and I believe they're being forced into this situation. Now, the key question I have is this. XPeng received a cash boost from the Volkswagen Group, but it comes with some caveats attached, right? It's not just free money. Volkswagen Group now have a seat on the board and will likely invest more money to the point where they do have some significant power within the company. It also means they'll be able to use some of XPeng's technology, which is unquestionably better than theirs. Same thing has happened at Leapmotor. Even the same thing has happened at Chinese-owned SAIC. So, is NIO next? Will NIO receive its much-needed cash injection from one of its German rivals or from someone else? I'm not sure, but I sold my NIO stock a long time ago and I certainly don't plan on investing anytime soon. Like I said, I love the product, but I believe their cash problems at this point are enormous. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.